Look, it's a pleasure to take a call in support of the Geographic Indications Wine and Spirits Registration Amendment Bill. I'd like to acknowledge speakers who've gone before and the contribution from New Zealand First with some of the history of this. Look, it's been a week in this House of bonhomie and consensual decision making, and this is not the first bill that's gone through, most probably with a unanimous support. So I guess that's what the public likes to see, Parliament speaking with one voice. The last one was about protecting fish in the Kermadec Islands, and this one, you might say, some people drink in that way, but this will improve the quality of the perception of our wine. Amongst other things, it will require geographic indications, and that will go from 85% to 100% of the grapes for the wine coming from the regions that are on the indication, and that's a good thing, a good thing. Interesting history of this bill. The original bill was passed in 2006 by the Honourable Judith Tizard. It lay in a veritable legislative stupor. It was not actually set up, and now we're back 10 years later to give it a kick along, improve it with the amendment. I think we're all probably of the same mind that the industry's come of age and it's time to lift the bar on geographic indications to 100%. So that's good, and we expect when this bill goes through with the broad support of the House that the implementation steps will be taken. We get such great names as North Island, South Island and New Zealand thrown in, and then beyond that it's going to be up to the regions to define and agree on their geographic indications. So for members opposite, they'll have a great interest in Marlborough, Martinborough, Hokanui in the case of the member for Southland. God knows what they're going to come up with. Central Otago, he's a member who's got a vast swathe of Southland and a little tiny weeny bit of Central Otago, so he can do his odd weekend clinic in the vineyard. So I guess it's a fair apportionment. We all smile because this subject matter brings to mind some of the finer parts of recreation and life in New Zealand. I do want to acknowledge the wine industry, the viticulture industry. A lot of hard-working people there doing very well. They've had their ups and downs. Grape prices had collapsed a few years ago and they've recovered a bit, like dairy is down at the moment. There's been a lot of consolidation in the industry. There's a few people that went to set up vineyards and their own wine labels as a kind of a lifestyle choice or retirement hobby, and it's turned out to be bloody hard work, and there's been a lot of consolidation to group that into more economic unit sizes. But it is a high quality industry. New Zealand wine can hold its head up very high by international standards, and arguably there is no finer Sauvignon Blanc grown in the world than that comes from Marlborough in New Zealand. And I've yet to taste a Pinot Noir that I prefer to good old Central Otago. I want to acknowledge Waipara, which is doing extremely well, and Martinborough, as well as Hawke's Bay and other regions. We have, of course, in West Auckland, where I have the privilege of being an MP, a fine tradition of the Dalmatian winemakers, the Babbages, the Breakoviches, and many others who have come up with brands like Nobelos, Solgens, Kumeu River, which makes some of the world's very finest Chardonnay, and we're very proud of that tradition in the West. Mr. Speaker, of course, Labor will be supporting this. We commend the bill to the House. We look forward to its, I think, unanimous passage, and along with the Kermadec Fish Reserve, we look forward to many more years of research of the product. Thank you very much.